Welcome back to the Stop Snitching podcast.
We back, man.
We are back.
It's been what, like a week or two?
It's definitely been 2 weeks. Man, you were a hard man to track down. One week it was the islands. Next thing, I'm literally watching. Bro, I'm watching the Hawks game. I'm like, is that Brandon there in Atlanta with Quavo courtside? This is unreal.
Bro, it feels like I've been either on a plane or a hotel the past 2 weeks, man.
Give an update on the people, man. Well, if you follow BCTV Media, then you probably know what's going on.
Making movies, man. Nah, I went to went to Boston.
Wait, hold up. First of all,
I did.
3, 2, 1. Stop snitching. Bang. Episode 22.
Yeah, so went to Atlanta a couple weeks ago for North 13th. Obviously, I have the BCTV shirt on, but BCTV also does work with North 13th, which is Jalil and I's company. Jalil's been on the show, so they know, like...
Yeah, you go back and watch the at Jalil C interview.
Yeah, so it was crazy.
Which, by the way, has gotten more traction lately.
Yeah,
I was looking back at
definitely,
it.
like...
It's been going up.
Definitely building up again. So we have our company, North 13th, which is also a content creative agency, but it's more focused on, like, bigger brands, you know, like, big-time people. Whereas BCTV is more localized sports, kind of, which is, like, a really good balance. So we were out there. One of Jalil's mentors, his name is Nehemiah Davis. He's a serial entrepreneur. Mainly he specializes in social media, marketing, event spaces, and things like that. But he's making a lot of money now. He's pretty successful, to say the least. So he moved out to Atlanta 9 months ago. And now that he's kind of settled there, he wants like a media team to be with him at all times. So he wants North 13th to be that team. So I've been in Atlanta, at least 2 or 3 times in the past 2 weeks, just filming him in different capacities. That was highlighted by this past weekend when he was he helped put a conference on for entrepreneurs, and he said he wanted to look like the Black Bruce Wayne, so that's what he did. Go on Neo DeViso's page to see.
I was gonna say, I definitely saw it. I love that one where you're like very close up on him and he's moving back and forth on the stage very quickly. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like literally I go on BCTV Media. Half the stuff that's on my timeline has the BCTV Media everywhere. How did you like Atlanta? I've never been to Atlanta.
Atlanta is beautiful. Atlanta is beautiful.
You were there, it was popping.
Yeah,
with the Sixers game and all that.
Yeah, it was so much going on. The Braves were playing. Like, it was really a beautiful city. There's a lot of young energy there. Like, a lot of people are moving to Atlanta. It's becoming like they call it like the Black Hollywood. So like a lot of Black people that are like up and coming. They're really making moves. They go to Atlanta.
Still like the modern day hip hop scene.
Yeah,
basically.
And plus being
down
south,
based out of Atlanta.
Yeah, being down south, it's cheaper too. So it's like it's kind of like a double whammy. There, it's cheaper. Plus, it's kind of like where the it crowd is right now.
Yeah.
So it was amazing, man. It was a beautiful city. We got to go. Not stay in the W Hotel, but be there. And just being there was like, dang, like...
It's feel like Drake?
Yeah, it's like levels.
What's the big deal about the W Hotel?
It's just the aesthetic. Like, it goes in there and it smells nice. Like, it smells like they just sprayed, like, Creed all over the place in the hotel. Like, it's just a different feeling. Like, a Marriott is nice, but it doesn't, like... The W's like luxe.
It's like OD expensive?
Nah, I mean, depends. I guess it depends, right? Like, I know there was a room that we rented that Neo was getting ready for a party in like a black tie affair, and it was only like $170 a night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't like
horrible.
anything crazy.
Yeah.
But
for like one night. But yeah, you're there for multiple. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was just a room. Like, of course, there's suites there that are probably like
the presidential.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So you're staying. Now, answer me this.
Yeah.
How is Shaq at all this stuff?
Oh my God.
This man Shaq, which by the way, I'm definitely only 1 degree of separation from Shaq now. Because, like, Mike knows him, all that stuff, right? This man Shaq is at every event. It does not, bro. I saw him. He was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he lives in Atlanta.
Does he live in Atlanta? Okay,
yeah.
So he's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Of course, he does the TNT thing.
Yeah.
He's on the Papa John's commercials. Like,
Yeah,
this man is out here.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. Did you get to meet him at all?
I didn't get to meet him personally. Obviously, like, I filmed him, which is like a credit to Jalil, because there's this podcast called Earn Your Leisure. It's like the #1 financial literacy podcast on like Apple Music, maybe Spotify, but it's like,
I think George.
Yeah,
George told me to subscribe to it.
George was the one that put me on a couple of years ago. He was like, I watched this podcast called Earn Your Leisure. These guys are young. They do this. And I'm like, all right. So to like actually meet them, it was cool. So,
they were there?
Yeah, they were there. So they did a live podcast with Shaq there at the conference on the stage. So dope. I think Jalil met the main guy when we were in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. And you know how Jalil does. He just walks up and says his whole story. And the guy follows him on Instagram. Then they were there this past weekend, so Jalil was like, yo, you should let North 13 do like a recap of the podcast for you. We didn't really know. He was just like, yeah, so we're going to do a recap of Earn Your Leisure podcast, so just be ready. I'm like, all right. Like, this is in the midst of like us doing everything for Neo. Then Jalil needs his content, so now we're also doing the recap for Earn Your Leisure. And that just happened to be featuring Shaq. So Shaq was backstage. Shaq is like 7'2", but he's like a fit 7'2".
I was gonna say,
like,
is he like the largest human being you've ever
he's
seen?
like fit though. Like he's not fat at all. Like he's like in shape.
Well, I think he's lost weight again. Like he got back in shape.
Really,
he used
really
to be huge, and then he got back. Well, he's always big.
Yeah.
But like, to be cut and that big is
like
ridiculous.
It was like a monster. So he's backstage, and like, you know, he's sitting in this chair. Everybody's coming up to him. He's like, whatever. Like, you know, that has to get annoying after a while. But yeah, he goes on stage and he just lights it up. Like, he's just funny as hell. Like, but he's also like one of the best businessmen that used to be an athlete. Like, he's in everything. Like, he talked about how he owns part of Elvis. Like, he owns part of the musical Elvis.
Right. Yeah,
which is pretty crazy. Like, obviously we see Papa John's, we see the General Auto Insurance.
Is he also big in Burger King? Or is that Barkley?
Nah, so there's this guy, his name is Junior Bridgman. He used to play in the league in like the 80s or whatever, in the 70s. But during his time in the off season, he would work at Wendy's to learn the system. But he ended up buying franchises, and he kept buying them. So he's worth like $300 million because he owns all these Wendy's, and he got in it early. Yeah. So Shaq was actually talking about him during the podcast too, but it's just interesting because we see Shaq as like this funny guy, but like he's definitely serious when it comes to like getting
the money.
The money. Yeah. So it was a dope experience overall, and they posted the video like all over the place, so it was cool.
Oh, on their Instagram?
Yeah.
Is it at Earn Your Leisure?
Yeah, at Earn Your Leisure.
Oh, dude, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Then one of the co-hosts posted it, and they posted some of the pictures, so it was cool. It's cool to like know that in this world we live in, like, you can send somebody a video, then it goes, and now it's like at how many thousands of views or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just did that.
Oh, this is them?
Yeah.
Is there a thing, the assets over liabilities thing?
Yeah,
oh, okay. I feel like I have seen so many.
Oh, you've definitely seen them.
Like in that, but I did not realize that that's their thing.
Yeah, no, they're big time, and then I think it's hopeful for us, like, to keep being consistent, because they only started 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they've already, I think they're at like 800,000.
Yeah, 800,000 followers on here. That's really amazing.
500,000 subscribers on YouTube, like, and this is in 2 years.
That's dope.
You know, so it just goes to show, I think when you're giving value of some sort, and you're locked in on it, like, people will follow you. And they're dope guys, like, they're from New York, they love hip hop, like, so it was kind of just cool to chill with them behind the scenes and capture it.
I know, I'm looking at all this now, it's like, Jesus.
Yeah, so like,
you know, when I only see it come from you, I'm like, yeah, it's there. And then when I actually look at the people like, you did it with, I'm like, holy shit, it's really everywhere. They're all on this stuff, man.
So it was a good experience, man. I was definitely tired after. Like, I think, like...
Bro, I literally talked to you one day. You were in Atlanta. And then, like, the week goes by or something. It was like Wednesday. I'm like going to bed. I go on Instagram. I'm like, is this man at Fenway Park?
Right.
I was like, man, are you in Boston right now? He said, oh yeah, this is fire.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, what?
Like a nice
Then he's here. Then I'm like, oh, you're back? No, I'm in Atlanta. I was like,
yeah, you hit me because you were like, oh, all right.
Tell me when you're back.
Right. Yeah. It was crazy. Like, that 2-day trip to Boston was really cool. It wasn't work.
Fenway was amazing, right? I've been to Fenway one time. I've been to Boston like a couple times.
Yeah.
Fenway Park is awesome.
Yeah,
it's old as hell, but they do an amazing job of, like, it feels like that, but the experience feels modern
the
and
experience
up
was
to date.
A1. Like, especially what's going on outside of Fen, right? Because like it's different.
It's so cool.
It's different from Citizens Bank.
It's literally in the middle of the city.
Literally,
you just like
yeah.
drive down a street, and then it's there. Yeah, there's no like alternate parking or anything. You're just
you gotta
built
get in where
there.
you fit in. Yeah,
It's amazing. I love
There's
that.
so much going on, and I think Boston as a whole is cool too. Like, you know, went to Fenway, then there was this Museum of Science, and it had a Pixar exhibit there. So I was just in there, like, yo, it was amazing. Like, it was teaching you how they CGI everything and how they like virtually do everything, which is amazing. And then, we went to the Salem Witch Trials Museum,
Ooh.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, we obviously learned about that in history. Yeah. And downtown Boston was actually really cool. It's like a little Times Square.
Yeah.
It's like
Boston's
really,
old as hell.
Yeah, but there's so much to do. So I'm like, dang, like I could actually see myself going back to like do other things there outside.
Did you eat anything good?
Yeah, I went to Wahlburgers.
Did you really?
Yeah,
oh,
it was dope.
It was good?
Wahlburgers was good, bro.
Is it all burgers? Like only burgers?
It's like regular food, but obviously they have their specialties. So I ended up ordering Mark's Favorite, which is like this vegan bacon burger or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It was good, yeah.
The vegan bacon burger.
Yeah.
From Brandon Cornelius.
It was like, they had it as like Mark's Favorite. And then aesthetically, like on the ceilings, it's like just a crazy collage of like all the movies and things that Mark has done. And then on one wall it's what Donnie's done, so it's like a bunch of concert footage or like pictures and stuff.
Okay.
And it's what the other brothers done. Like, it's crazy.
Was it popping?
Yeah, it was good.
Was it busy? Like a lot of people there?
We went at like 12, so it wasn't too many people.
Oh,
I mean, it was busy, but not like packed. I think they get packed like 3.
I forget they're from Boston.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't, because they all definitely sound like they're from
Right,
Boston.
yeah. So it's cool. I mean, it's cool because we usually, you know, they had the show Wahlburgers, and Mark Wahlberg just came out with like this little documentary series about how he was doing during the pandemic, and Wahlburgers was like one of the main focuses.
Oh yeah, he did that on HBO,
Yeah,
right?
it's
HBO
called
Go?
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Yeah, it's dope. So like just going
The
there, I'm
person
like,
who comes
yeah.
up with the puns alone gets the check.
It was dope. It was dope. So to go there was like really, really cool. And we got cannolis there, which apparently Boston is known for.
I guess like Italian.
Yeah, they had like
Irish
a little
Catholic
Italy part of their city, and they're known for like their cannolis. So
Cannoli.
yeah.
I think I've had cannolis like twice in my life.
Oh, it's banging.
It's a lot though.
Oh yeah.
And
cannoli
did you get
really
like they come like you can
Oh,
get a
nah.
cannoli. It's big.
And you can customize it. Like you can customize the shell, the cream that's on the inside. Then you can put chocolate chips on top. You put powder on top. Like it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I just had to go all out.
Yeah, you might as well. A little bakery.
Dude, because because Adriana went to Atlanta.
Well, we were in and me and
You
I
were
found
both
out,
in Atlanta
yeah,
at the same time, I think, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was you two, and there was someone else too that I knew like peripherally.
Okay.
I was like, why are all these people in Atlanta right now?
Atlanta's the hot spot now.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
She had a good time too. She was there for a bachelorette party. Then came home and got me sick as
Well,
hell.
where did they stay? Where did they stay?
Oh, I don't know. Not the W.
Nah.
No, she flew to Atlanta and then like went to Nashville or something, and then went from Nashville and flew back here.
Nashville is another hot spot. Like it's either Atlanta or everybody's going to Nashville.
Dude, I want to go to Nashville so bad.
Yeah.
I was trying to plan Shane's bachelor party there for like a couple separate times. It was COVID; it was just too much. But she had a good time down there too. She went to the University of Tennessee, so
that's
she's
like
like you kind of been down there before, but I've never been down south like that. This only south I've ever been is Florida, and then I've been like Savannah, Georgia, one time. I've never been there.
In Savannah, so you were in the country,
bruh.
Yeah.
I went to Savannah, Georgia to visit my dad's best friend maybe like 10 years ago or something like that.
Gotcha.
It was hotter than hell.
Well, actually, this past weekend it wasn't too hot. I mean, it was kind of like rainy a little bit some days, but yeah.
Oh, bro. And fun fact: New Orleans, Las Vegas, and Savannah, Georgia, I believe, are the only 3 cities in America that have open container laws, where you can drink outside open container in public.
Oh wow.
Yep. Why is Savannah, Georgia on there? I have no idea.
Savannah, Georgia's a big South place, though.
I mean, yeah, it was. it was cool. But like we were talking about earlier, I mean, living in that area, like in that part of the world, is, I mean, it's amazing. I'm sure it's really fun, but it's like so not here.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot different now.
Yeah, people, like, everybody's trying to get me to move down there now, and I just don't know. I just don't. Yeah, it's not like my scene. Like, this is like, this in Philly is like my scene, where it's like, it's low key, but there's stuff going on, and then I can still travel to like Atlanta. It's only like an hour and a half. Like,
yeah,
like, it's
the
not,
East Coast is nice like that.
Yeah.
Like I mean, as your business grows, right, whatever, you'll go wherever it needs to go. But for right now, if you're like primarily populated on the East Coast, you can get anywhere in the East Coast in 2 hours on a plane.
it's easy.
You've literally already done that.
Yeah, literally.
You're like, all right, I'm here, and then I'm coming home.
But I also
Same day.
found out, like, everybody has their threshold in whatever they do. So I found out that I'm not the type of creative or whatever that can just like go city to city to city. Like, I need, like, I can go somewhere for a week, but I need to come back and I need to like reset.
It's fucking mad.
It's a mad area. Like, I need to reset. I can't just be on the go all the time because I think I'll burn out. That's just me though. Like, I know some people like that can do that, and shout out to them. I don't know how.
No, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I realized that too. It's like, sure, I can go 110% on the mission for sure.
Yeah.
But once it's accomplished, like, I gotta
back.
chill. Yeah, like, I'm not the type to. I wonder if that's because, like, I would always. It's funny. I would always consider myself like an extrovert, but as I've gotten older, I think it turns more and more introverted. Only because I think a lot of what both of us do is so like oriented toward people and projects, and it's like it's a constant 24/7 management all the time, that it's like, yeah, my relaxation does not come from hanging out with a bunch of people and going out. It's like that is like more energy than what I want to do. That's right. Yeah, I want to hang out, I want to watch a movie, I want to chill, like do whatever, and then once I like regroup, then I come back.
Yeah, well, we're both in industries of service, right? So it's like we're serving somebody else's vision.
For the most part, the general public.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You
like,
are.
So you have to
people.
like. So like when I was in Atlanta, I was around. You know, I worked a lot. Like, we were around people all day, and there's a bunch of these personalities, and like, you know how it is. Like, people try to show up somebody, like they're trying to look cool, and like you have to deal with all that, and like having to film it. It gets draining because it's like, you know me, like I don't care about none of that. So I'm like looking at these people like, all right, you're fake. I wouldn't really rock with you, but I have to film you, like, you know.
Yeah.
So you
It's a job.
Yeah, it's a job. But you also have to be careful to protect your energy though, because, you know, I do represent a company too. So I can't just show that, even though I'm probably thinking it half the time.
Yeah, I didn't mean you're not being professional.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, you know in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
You're
like,
all right, Joker. Come on. Yeah, cool.
So
You're
it
the
is
cool guy.
important to be able to reset in that way and just have time to yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So, which didn't really get to happen down there. So, which is why when I came home on Sunday night, I probably took Monday and Tuesday and probably didn't do anything camera related.
Yeah.
I just needed like a couple of days to just like chill.
I also think that even with something like this, it's like you need, well, I guess like you said, it depends on the type of creative person you are. Some people just have that non-stop and like just go.
But everybody burns out at a certain point though. Like, you can have that, but it's like you're gonna burn out.
But where does the quality dip?
And that's my thing, and that's been the conversation actually. It's like, all right, like, you know, because a big part of this media industry is like being first to do something, right? So I get it, but it's like, if it doesn't look good, then who cares if you're first? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, ESPN, you know, we see there's different levels to ESPN. Like, when we watch a basketball game, they put the highlights together quickly, but they're just highlights, you know. But when we see like the 30 for 30s, like the real cinematic things, those things take time. You can't rush that. So it's like finding that balance between, all right, we want to be fast, but it also has to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
that's
also,
the balance, man.
because I also think that like in our younger lives right now, so much of the it's also your reputation. Like, you don't want to be, you can be turn and burn. Like, it's the same thing. I can pay someone to edit a video for $10, or I can pay them to edit a video for $1,000.
Right.
who knows? They could both get it back to me in 10 minutes, but the quality is going to be completely different because of what you're putting toward it. Now, like clientele, obviously, maybe understand that, but like you said, when you were there, you're interacting with people who are literally in real time every single day because everybody there has their own media people.
Oh my God!
To come back and be like,
hold on,
hold on,
real quick.
Right, this is different.
By the way, so our team was Jalil. Well, no, the actual camera crew was me and this other guy, Hamid. Shout out to Hamid. He like came down on a whim to Atlanta just because he saw what we were doing and he wanted to get part. Like, it's crazy. So it was me and him actually filming. Now these other people had like 10 camera people with them, but it's like it doesn't matter because it's like, what are you all filming? You're all filming the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, because a lot of like, unfortunately, when people get money, a lot of it is the look of it. You want to look like, you know, I got 10 camera guys with me, I'm popping, but it's like when it comes to the actual content, you're not that popping.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about the quality of the content. It's not about the look. It's not about how fast it gets done. It's like, at the end of the day, when people see this, what is their visceral reaction to it? Do they love it? Are they going to share it? Does it strike a chord?
But what do you, like, how do you, because, right, like, okay, so if they have 10 people getting the same exact thing as you, so they have 10 different angles, is it almost because it's too much? Whereas you know what you're looking for, you're like, this is it.
Well,
this
it's the difference between what a local camera crew would do and what like NFL Films would do. NFL Films, they have a crew, but they're all focused on a specific thing. Down there, it was like everybody's just trying to get the shot. Like, it wasn't like structured. You know, like,
they just want as much content as humanly possible. We're just gonna record everything.
Yeah, but there's no plan. It's just getting it. Like, whereas at the highest level, NFL Films, ESPN, you know, whenever Showtime does something like a 24/7 with boxing, like all these people are there, but they all have a specific role that caters to this specific part of the story that they already have planned out. So that's why it looks so amazing when it comes out, because it's already been planned and everybody knows exactly what they're shooting. A lot of times in this space, it's just about just filming all day, and that's amazing, but if there's no plan or if there's no story, then you're just aimlessly filming and wasting energy in camera space.
Yeah. So you go into it with like a game plan.
Oh, you have to.
You know, you're like, all right, what is the main idea of what we're trying to do? Is it a recap? Is it just this guy? Like, what are we doing? So we're focused on that.
Yeah, for me, it's like I always know what I'm gonna film, but I'm also a freestyler where it's like, if I see something during the filming, I'm like, oh, that's dope, I gotta put that in there. That happens all the time, you know, but I always know, like, pretty much how I want the video to look and how I'm gonna frame it. Now it's just about getting those shots, and then, you know, if Neo's on stage, now I'm just listening for like dope sound bites that he has that I know I'm gonna put in.
Right.
So it's like there's a certain level of pre-production, but it's not structured yet to like a point where like a ESPN might be, where they literally have every single thing written down or whatever the case. Like, to me, there's still fun in just kind of feeling the moment out.
Right.
And like knowing like, all right, that's a good moment, I know I want to put in there, that's a good moment, you know. So still learning though, man. Like, that's the dope part about it. It's like learning how to like be better at it, like be more structured at it, so it's easier.
When you see like all these people, I don't know, God, man, it sounds so bad, but like there's the Earn Your Leisure guys who clearly like they have a message, people are interested in that, and like that's valuable.
Yeah.
But it seems like, doesn't it feel diluted after a while, where you're like, Jesus, man, like I think that anybody can give you good business advice, but if you're not the person who can take that and like adapt and run with it, it's like, you know, like we talked to George or something. Yeah, I mean, he can tell you good investment strategies or opportunities, but like, if you're not the person to really double down and learn, like, as you go, it's not going to help you. Right? Like, doesn't it seem like to a certain extent it's like, holy shit, man, are we all talking about the same thing all the time?
People...
It seems like it's the people who make the difference.
There's so many different types of consumers out there. There's people that literally go to that conference and they just like to be there. They just want to be there.
Right. That's what George was saying. Is like, you got people who just want to buy the product to say they bought it.
Yeah. And then there's people that actually go there with a specific intention to apply this specific thing, like, or there's people that go there. Everything that was said, I just want to meet somebody like Neo and give them my card.
Right.
Like they're yeah. So it's like it services everybody. It's just about what you want to get out of it. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's like, you know, with the circle of CEOs, the group Neo's a part of, they all specialize in different things. So there's valuable information, but it's up to you as a consumer to know what you're going to take from it and how you're going to use it.
Yeah.
If that's what you're there for. If you're there for just to network with all the other people, then that's cool. Like, it's worth it. Like, it's just about going in there with a plan, which I feel like most people don't do.
Right, that's what I mean. It seems like it's a perfect place for a bunch of lost people to just be like, we're going to figure it out while we're here, which is great. Like, I'm glad that all that's happening, but whew, that's got to be exhausting. Like you were saying, there's just so many people. Everybody's trying to make money and be an entrepreneur and all this shit. And you're like, oh my God. I've had so many conversations, you know, even with Jaleel, where it's like, I mean, my mentality is a little different. It's like, hey man, there's a spot for everybody in this world. Yeah. There's a million jobs because there's a million different types of people. Like, and sure, I mean, aspire and do whatever you want to do, but like, you know, we were talking about this off camera. There are certain people in our lives who we look at online. It's like, they all work jobs, bro. Yeah. But nobody knows. I didn't even know that. Like, people don't even know that. So you're like, cool. I was listening to actually someone talk about that. He's like, why would I get rid of my 9 to 5? Like, my 9 to 5 is my health care, my bag, like, pays the mortgage. Just down to 30. He's like, so then you optimize that, right? Like anything, you get really, really, really good at that job. And then that job takes less and less and less, like, mental time on you so that you can work on all these other avenues of whatever it is that you want to make money. And I was like, oh, that's like the counterintuitive thing that you would hear from a lot of people who are like, quit everything, focus on you and go forward. I'm like, ooh.
Well, that's where you gotta know yourself as a person, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Because I think it's actually ideal to have like George is like, to me, the ideal entrepreneur in that he works a 9 to 5 that directly relates to what he does.
Right, to all his other business
work. Yeah. So it's like, plus he gets the benefits, plus it's a really good job, and his job is the financial market, which is what he does. So he can apply those tools to what he does in real estate, what he does with the rental cars, what he does with business credit, because he's just dealing with money all around. Mm-hmm. I actually think that's ideal, especially because you can have an exit plan with a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, maybe I want to work this job for another 5 years, bounce. But that job gave me enough leverage within those 5 years to provide a foundation for my business that I want to run. But now the wealth of knowledge and resources that I gained from my job, I can apply it to my business, and now I'm good. Like, I think that's ideal. But if you're somebody like a Gary Vee who says quit everything and just go for it, cool. You just have to, like, it's about knowing yourself, and it's about having peace of mind. That's all I care about. We've seen, like, we've talked about it before, like, people that have had the most money just kill themselves because they're not happy. Like, money isn't everything. You have to know yourself, know what makes you happy, know what's going to sustain you, and then build your life around those things. And as long as you do that, then you'll never be overstressed or overworked because you'll know, like, your limit to all of it.
Stop snitching. What I wanted to follow up on was from our tougher conversation a couple weeks ago. Showed him. You got 22 and a half years, bro.
Yeah, they're saying with the federal charges, it might be like 30 plus though, because they didn't even get over the federal.
that was only the one.
Yeah.
That was what, the state?
Yeah.
There's gonna be another one.
Yeah.
On top. Really strong moment, bro.
Yeah, bro.
How old is he? 40? It's over, bro. Yeah. You think he's making it through prison? No. No shot. There's no way you going to prison for that. Hell no. And he shouldn't.
I don't feel bad at all.
Hell no. I was like 22 and a half years. That was strong. I was ready for some BS to come out again.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was a big moment for everybody, man. I guess.
Do you think
like,
it's enough?
It's hard to say what enough is. Like, I don't know. Like, you know, some people want them in prison for life. Like, I'm just happy that it's a long time. You know, like, and I think that it'll set a precedent for future officers who feel like they need to overexert their power. Now there's a consequence. It's like, oh, you can get 30 plus years for doing something dumb like that and you don't need to. You know what I'm saying? So I was just happy it was a long sentence. You know, like,
Yeah.
30 years is a long time. It's a long time.
30 years.
A long time.
We haven't even lived 30 years.
We haven't even lived 30 yet, and it's feel like we've been on this earth for a long time.
Yeah.
So imagine being in jail for all that time. Like, damn. But it's a good sign now. So hopefully the justice system continues to be fair in this way, because it's fair. Like, you killed somebody, and you didn't need to. Like, it wasn't even like he committed a crazy crime. Like, I even forget what he did. Like, what were they trying to get him
I think
for?
it was like cigarettes or something, or
Yeah, like
some bullshit. It doesn't even exactly. It doesn't even
It's
matter.
stupid, like-
Whatever he did, it does not matter.
Yeah, it
It
did not
did not
warrant
result
him
from that.
dying.
I was like 22 and a half years. I'm like, all right. I'm like, as the white man, I'm good with that. Like,
Yeah.
that seems like, well, especially, God, man. I just think about it in like the course of time. It's like, if I got 22 and a half years right now, that is my life. Like, it's over. Like,
Yeah.
you come out on the other side, I can't even imagine. You, like, I'll watch documentaries and stuff with dudes who come out of prison, you know, whether wrongfully convicted or rightfully, whatever. They come out, they were locked up in the 80s, they come out in 2021.
Yeah, they don't know what to do.
Dude, it's like you're walking to Mars. It's like a completely different, like, imagine what the world is going to be like in 22 years. Every single year it's so different. There's no way.
Yeah.
Everything changes in that amount of time.
It's a tough job, but, you know, he deserves
But anyway, I needed to also get your opinion on this, man. What are the Sixers going to do?
So
That was the most,
yeah.
bro. It's so upsetting, bro.
What about Ben?
Fuck Ben. No,
Yeah,
I'm over
everybody's
Ben,
like,
bro.
over Ben.
Ben is done. It's done. It's done. And I would love to get your opinion on this because I've only played tennis, right? I'm not like a team athlete.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that all those guys in that locker room were like patting Ben on the back, like, hey man, don't worry, you'll get better. We'll get him next time, after you've given so much to get to that point?
Yeah. It's tough because
Do you think they're like,
I
do you think the
they-
Sixers want him?
yeah, they will. Apparently they do.
Apparently
they
Doc
want
wants
to
him.
keep him. Yeah.
Apparently Doc
Well,
wants
this thing you gotta understand about Ben is this: like, outside of scoring the basketball, he's like one of the most dynamic players in the league. Outside of scoring the basketball, but because we don't really have another true scorer outside of Joel, it gets put on Ben to score. But he's not really a scorer, though. He never really was.
Not really?
Yeah, but he never really was.
Yes.
Though.
No,
Like-
I agree with the sense of not making him into something that he was never.
Yeah.
I can 100% true.
Yeah.
He showed his cards. What bothers me is that maybe not him, but the team, the organization is pushing it as in he is working on these things. And then it is very clear that he's either not, or the mental side of the game
Yeah,
is
it's
so
mental.
debilitating on him
I think he's
that
working
he cannot
on it.
produce.
I think he's definitely working on it. I think it's mental. And actually, Mike just talked about this on his pod. He was like, you can't quantify the mental side of the game. It's like when you have a
100%.
mental block like that in anything, especially when you're that high profile, it makes it even harder for you to do your job. And I think it's just a mental thing. And there's no
But are we
cure
supposed to
for
feel
it.
bad for him?
No, we're not supposed to feel.
He's a
we're not
$100
supposed to
million
feel bad.
man.
Like you're.
This
like,
is your job, bro.
Everybody is entitled to their opinion, but a lot of times what fans don't understand is that if you were in those shoes, how do you think you would react?
Yeah.
And that's what fans fail to do. Like, it's easy to like bash somebody for not performing well, but like, all right, you step on the court and do that. But then they're like, oh well, if I was 6'10", and I'm like, you still have to do it. And, like, there's plenty of 6'10" people in the NBA that aren't Ben Simmons. Like,
Yeah.
and the
no,
fact
100%.
that team, like, there's 20 teams reportedly that are interested in Ben, so he is dynamic.
Oh, yeah, I'm not
and he's
ready.
only 24. Like,
Yeah.
like, it's just a mental thing and that's the mystery of it. Because, like, how do you break a mental block? We don't know. Like, that's the real thing. It's not that he's not valuable. It's that right now he's got such a crazy mental wall that's in front of him that it's like it's hard to get past, because he's technically our second or third option, which he shouldn't be on any team. It's like Imagine Draymond on the Sixers. It would be the same thing because Draymond barely shoots too.
Right. It's just that you don't expect it.
Yeah, but it's just that Draymond is surrounded by Steph, Clay. He was surrounded by KD, so he doesn't have to shoot. That's how we have to treat Ben. We have to get other legitimate scorers so that the onus isn't as much on Ben to score. So that his 16 to 18 points is elite. You know, and he can still do it.
Is Draymond making $100 million a year? 120
Yeah,
million?
Draymond's making buku money.
Is he making that much?
Yes, because when you're an all-around playmaker like that, you always have a place in the NBA or in any sport.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Draymond's making
that
crazy
much money, bro. That's
because
insane.
he's dominant defensively and he's makes great decisions and he's a pass-first guy on a team that has Steph, Clay, and all those other people. So I feel like
he made $22 million last year.
Yeah, so I feel like the real onus should be on Tobias because in the Washington series, Tobias was snapping. Now all of a sudden we didn't hear from Tobias. That's the problem. He's really our second scoring option.
Damn, Draymond really has a new $100 million deal.
Yes, bro.
Fucking crazy. It's a 4-year deal, bro.
Yeah, bro.
4 years.
But look at what Draymond brings to the game.
Oh my god. But I guess, well, okay, right. That's a fair point to say that Draymond was always that guy. We're not expecting anything else. I guess that's my beef with maybe it's more the organization than Ben. Is to say, then stop telling me that Ben is going to be the guy. Stop telling me that he's going to be shooting. Tell me that, look, this is what we're focusing our talents on with him. We will search elsewhere for this. And then it's like, cool.
Well,
but why do we keep talking about him being the scorer? Now tell me this. You want Dame?
Hell yeah.
You giving up Ben?
For Dame, straight up?
No. Well, no. There's no way. That's not going to be an even
swap. I think Dame and Ben
unless Dame is so hostile there that we don't know about it, that he's like, I will walk away from this, which I don't think he is.
Yeah. I mean, of course I want Dame.
Yeah, like bro. Dame, Joel, Tobias more consistent. What?
But I feel like there's a place where they can all coexist because Ben's that type of person that
there's not enough money for all.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be like $500 million on this starting.
I feel like we could get Bradley Beal though.
Oh, you speaking my language, bro. I love. Don't get me wrong. Yes. Do I want Dame?
Yeah.
Why would I not want Dame? That'd be unreal, bro. Bradley Beal. I think he is so fed up being there.
Yeah.
That he's like,
he's ready to bounce.
I'm out. Yeah. And if he came to Philly and knew that he was essentially taking over the Ben Simmons role to become our number one, 1-2 scorer with Joel. Bro, forget about it.
I think
he was a better. I looked at this earlier. His numbers. He was number 2 average points per game in the league, bro. He averaged like 32 a game.
He snapped, and I feel like he would be a perfect fit here.
Who you get up with Ben though? I think Ben for Bradley Beal, maybe on a pick or something like that would happen. But for Dame, it's got to be like Ben and Maxey or Ben and Thibault and a pick. Like they're gonna want a lot.
But I don't think Ben's contract is that crazy to where we couldn't get another big name guy. We just had to give up people like Danny Green, Seth Curry. Maybe.
Seth was such a baller though, bro.
Yeah,
Seth is such like a Philly name now.
Yeah, Seth needs like.
He was balling, bro. He was the only reason we stayed in that 7-game series, for real, for real.
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. But I mean...
How'd you feel after that 7 games?
Oh, it sucked, bro. I think it just sucked because it was the Hawks. But now we see the Hawks going crazy, like, anyway, so it's like, damn.
Well, they got blown out by like 50 last night by the Bucks.
Game 1, they were...
Game 1, they were balling.
So they're just a hot team right now, but it just sucks because it was the Hawks, and it also sucks. I was talking to my cousin about this. It's like, this was the year of any year for us to do it because everybody else was either hurt or they were still trying to get their situations together. LeBron lost in the first round. The Nets just lost. Kawhi Leonard's
That's what I'm
hurt.
saying, bro. It's like, it was this, all the stars aligned to say. And to be fair, we were always going to have to play someone like the Suns. We were going to have to play a red-hot West Coast team in the finals that, in all honesty, could go either way.
But the Suns were young, too, so it would have been a better situation because it's not like we went up against the Lakers or somebody who has championship experience. It's the Suns who, that was their first time there, too, so now it's just like mano a mano. But yeah, this was the year to do it because next year Brooklyn's going to like have it all figured out and they're not losing in the second round.
Yeah, man. It just sucks, bro. It just, God.
Yeah, it sucks.
When I saw Milwaukee win, I literally was screaming. I was like, let's go, thank God. Like, I do not want to play Brooklyn under any circumstances there. I will take anybody else on the East Coast to get there. Because first of all, what solidified that KD's a killer, bro. Everybody knew that. This man, when he dropped 49 or whatever, 52, whatever that game was, I was like, bro, they scored 113 points.
You know what's crazy?
This man scored half their points.
You know what's crazy about that? He had a 49-point triple-double, but LeBron did that in the playoffs, through the course of the playoffs, like 10 times 1 year.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Like, LeBron does that
the
all
LeBron bar
the
is
time.
the LeBron bar is a championship. That's it. No, it doesn't matter.
But it's just like, it's crazy that, like, people praise KD so much, but LeBron did that at least 5 to 10 times in a single playoff run. I think, like, 2018, he was averaging a triple-double in the playoffs, bro. Even last year, he was damn near averaging a triple-double. Like, just think about, like, how crazy that
unreal.
is. You know
now, tell me this, though. I was having this discussion. I know you're a Philly fan, and I know you're a particular huge fan of this player. Is there anything, like, well, I'm sure there's things more impressive, but as one of the most impressive, like, essentially single-player feats than AI taking us to the chip.
Oh, nah.
In 01, whatever that was,
the
bro.
greatest.
That
Insane. But
insane.
either that or LeBron in 07.
I was going to say,
one of those
either
two.
one, right? You look at either of those teams, and you're like, this is like a GTBBL squad with the greatest player on earth. There's no reason that they should be there. I just think that knowing who AI, like looking at their longevity of their careers now, AI doing that, bro, this motherfucker's a point guard, bro. He's a point guard, and he's what, 5'?
He's like
10?
5'10". Yeah, he's like 5'.
This man is going up against the Lakers and Kobe, like, to the finals. LeBron, we know now, turns into, he's just a bigger, I think there's something to be said for, like, he's just an overall larger athlete, bigger person. Like, you can do more, like you said, when you're just a bigger person. It doesn't matter. I'm just like, I look back on those AI things, I'm like, AI was the GOAT, bro.
I think it's between those two. I had this debate before.
Who else has done that in basketball? One person.
We don't really, it hasn't really been done before. Usually, like, teams have at least 1 to 2 guys that can take them throughout history. Like, that's what makes AI so special, but it's also what makes LeBron so special because he's taken teams to the finals in 3 different decades.
3 different teams?
Yeah, 3 different teams, 3 different finals.
But yeah, like you said, I think the thing about the LeBron effect is that when he did that, he was what? Was that his 2nd or 3rd year?
Yeah, he was like 22. So it was like his 3rd or 4th year.
Like,
what? Yeah, it was crazy. I remember watching that.
It's
I remember watching that. I was like,
the throwback Cavs jersey with the orange and white and blue.
They got swept in the finals, but still, it was just like crazy to even see him there. At least AI won 1 game, that first game. All-time performance.
I think like watching these teams now where we're in like that super team era, the NBA and the whole world has to look at this now and say, look at the teams that are left. None of them are super teams. None of them are, no one.
It's
no Nets, there's no Lakers, there's no, I don't know, any of these, Milwaukee, Phoenix, DC, Atlanta, and LA and the Clippers. But even the Clippers, like, that's not the same thing as the Lakers.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool, though, because, I mean, they say playoff ratings are up this year by like 40%. You know what I'm saying?
I'd have to believe it's because you have the entire state of Arizona, the entire state of like, to a certain extent, right, bro? Like, they have to. Everyone's got to be watching those games.
But I think it's just cool to see not a super team win, too. It's like cool to see these other teams, like, win, and it's cool to just see something different for once, you know?
So who do you think is going to be in the finals? Who do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to be the Suns and the Bucks, and I think the Suns are going to win it.
I think the finals go 7. Yeah. I'm with you. I want the Suns to win it, but if the Bucks won, I would feel good for Giannis. Like, I would want Giannis to get a chip. Sure.
I mean, no matter who wins, it's going to be a good story, like, because none of these teams have won since, like, 1976.
Really, that long?
Yeah, that's been a drought for all of them.
Have the Suns been in the finals?
Yeah, they went with, they played the Bulls in 93. So that was
and that, I'm guessing, did not end well.
That was the last year of the first Bulls three-peat.
I was gonna say, yeah.
That was the team that Charles Barkley on it. That's when Charles Barkley was on the Suns.
Oh, I forgot he was on the Suns. Yeah,
so
damn.
They definitely been there, and then the Bucks haven't been there since the '70s.
Forever.
And the Hawks. I don't know if the Hawks have ever been to the finals. And the Clippers.
They said the Hawks went like early 2000s, like
to the
1
finals?
year or something like that.
No,
I thought it was.
I don't know. I don't think so. And then the Clippers never been to the finals. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel bad for Kawhi.
But look, man, there's this. We got more important news, man. So you had a big accomplishment,
man.
So talk to the people about this career milestone.
This career milestone, yes.
Achieved.
Adriana and I bought a house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, my God,
yes,
man.
sir. Big time, big money.
Been
talk about big checks.
big in every sense of the word, man. We're very happy. I don't even know, bro. We've been looking for a house since like October.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to buy a house right now in this market is already insane. I think we talked about this a little before on whatever podcast from before, but like, it's been a learning experience from a relationship standpoint.
Yeah.
Like all this, because this is what everybody needs to know. All right, Adriana and I spoke about this because you talk to anybody from an older generation, any of our parents, grandparents, whatever, and so I was like, okay, so you're getting married, you're getting married, you're getting married. Relax. Yes, yes, okay. I have every intention of that. I have no problem saying that. However, I asked her. We talked about this. I said, do you want to get married or do you want to buy a house? Like, for me, it's just like, I'm a guy, we talk about the type of people you are, one thing at a time.
Yeah,
okay?
Sure.
One thing,
Sure.
those are two huge things. One is the largest financial investment I'll probably ever make in my entire life outside of the investment I would make to my children.
Yeah.
Or the largest personal investment, fingers crossed,
Yeah.
with this other person for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, either one is big. So you choose, because I want both. And I already knew that the house was more important.
Yeah,
so she said the house.
Yeah.
So everyone's clear. It's not Nathan's like, oh, Nathan, you didn't ask that. No. I asked her. She made it clear. So
she wanted that kitchen, man.
she wants the kitchen. She wants the deck. She wants, and 100%. Me too. Absolutely. So now we got the crib. Very exciting. It was a whole process. Shout out to the lawyers.
Yeah. Shout out Pop coming in.
Pop came through.
Pop sealed the deal.
Sealed the deal. Pop sealed the deal. Made it happen.
You seen him at work. That's awesome,
yes.
Bro.
And you know, my mom was saying that. She was like, I'm really happy you got to see Pop like that because he's never been like that to me.
Right.
He's always just been. Anybody knows Pop is you wouldn't say he's the most serious guy in the world now. Awesome. But for her whole life, very serious. Lawyer, had his law firm, like made the money, brought it home, worked hard, like all that. So the we've got it. I was telling Brandon, this was the house that we were originally looking at, that we were so excited because there is now going to be just a room for the podcast. It can hold a studio, it can hold an editing space, it's got its own closet, like
it's awesome.
It'll be all in there. It's gonna be awesome. And then it's also, whatever. It's the white picket fence in the front lawn. Like what
what you want.
What else are we supposed to say? So
move-in day, September 1st. So
we're
a couple of months.
Yeah, we've got a couple months to go.
Which is good.
Good
nice
to go.
Transitional period for you.
Yeah, and we're excited. I mean, it's like we walked away after closing, like signing. I'm not gonna lie, literally, bro, the stack of papers was this big. It was an hour of just only signing my name over and over and over again, over and over and over again. So it was like a really cool experience, but it's one of those things that like you don't walk. It's not like nothing's in a bag,
Yeah.
It's property.
Yeah.
You're like, it's great. I don't live there yet.
Right.
We got a little bit of time, which is also a cool thing because, which I guess some people didn't know, is like, you can have contingencies with these contracts. So what we tried to do was help them out a little bit, give them a little bit more time. So they're just renting back from us for a couple months.
Right.
which is cool. Like I said, that was always a benefit to us. Like I'm glad that we can have a little bit more time to like get our lives ready to move to that other space. But becoming landlords and tenants and lease agreements and all this other stuff, it was like I've never bought a house before, let alone do I know how to do this. So yeah, we're super excited. I mean, it's weird that like I've been here for 3 years.
Oh, it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope.
And then maybe the next person
could
be you.
Might be sliding in this jump,
Could be
man.
sliding in.
Definitely be a good look. But I think like that kind of speaks to what we were talking about earlier. It's like the 2 months will give everybody time to just like figure it out. So it's like even me figuring out the new situation with the new clients that we have, making sure that if I do move in here, that I can actually be here and not like have to be like traveling back and forth. Because if I am having to travel so much, then there's really no point.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it'll be a good like couple months of just trying to try to see like.
Bro, you are so ready for it.
I'm definitely
Oh
ready.
my gosh.
I'm definitely ready to move.
When
in.
you get this spot or the next spot, whatever it is, like I said that to somebody like a younger, it's like my brother's friend or some shit like that. Maybe it was like I had like an intern at work, whatever. And I was like, everybody thinks, oh, I'm gonna move out and I'll miss my family. I feel like most people are like, oh, you're gonna. Hell no.
You want to be on your
What?
own, man.
I was like, I can do anything that I want.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling
On
me
your own
anything.
time.
Now you're already like independent older, you got yourself like established, but looking back on it now, it's like, damn man, like I'm happy that I had this moment to do this because like the house is just different. When you own everything, I gotta fix it. I gotta pay to fix everything. No.
Here, it's like everything's taken care of.
I go on put in a work order. Like that's it. They come in, I fix it, I'm done. Like, but 100%. Like, we're definitely both ready for that next step to get to that level. And that's kind of it.
I'm excited though, man. We'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, the most important thing is that you guys both got the house that you really wanted.
Yeah.
You know, like both of you guys have parts of the house that will be near and dear to your heart. You know.
Yeah.
And I think it's just cool to make that step in general. Like, we're at the time in our lives where we see like a lot of our peers getting cribs and it looks cool. I know like the logistics behind it. I know how much money's being put out. Like, that's not cool. But you know, it's just cool to do it because like we all have these life milestones that we want to reach, and they're all different for everybody. But the same things are like, you know, moving into your first house, getting married, having kids. You know, so you've accomplished.
And I think that's like and right. Like, I mean, I guess there's different accomplishments for everyone. Like, you do it at whatever level you want, but like, for us, I think the biggest thing is, well, one, like, our generation is so different than our parents' generation. Like, I am 100% of the belief, like, dude, I want to enjoy my house with my girl and like the cats and just that. Like, I don't need to enjoy it and also be a father at the same time as getting married. It's like, come on, man. What are we doing? We're just stacking stuff on top of each other, just trying to like bang it out and get it done. It's like, no, I want to enjoy each of those things individually. And I got a lot of that from my parents. Like, my parents were together for years, married, all that, ever before having me. And they always say that was the best thing, right? You got to enjoy being married, even young. My mom was fucking 21 when she got married.
Oh, wow.
What are you talking about?
Really young.
She met my dad first weekend of college. You know that?
Yeah, I think that.
Come on,
I didn't
man.
know it was they got married at 21. Though.
Both of them, just studs. Yeah, because my mom was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
Like, back then, I mean, that's kind of as young as you would possibly be, right? When I go to college and I was like 19.
Yeah.
So you come to that point where you're like, wow, damn. Yes, you're right. It is. It's definitely a milestone that like I consider. Like, I'm very happy to like be at. But also, and you know what, I talk with my my grandfather about this everything too, and you know this is like, it's different when you work really hard for it. And then you get to that point where you're like, okay, I can do this, I want to do this, you know, I deserve this, like, this is the next step, like, we can do this, and you're choosing to make that happen. Yeah, man, it's really empowering.
Well, we all need rewards in life. Like, we all work hard. Well, hopefully we all work hard, and you deserve to reward yourself, you know? Like, what you just did is like a long-term investment. So, like, this is your first house. Maybe you're there for a certain amount, and you end up selling it you know, like it's just you want to reward yourself in those ways. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, right now, my rewards are like these little trips that I take because I never traveled before, so it's cool for me to just be able to go to Boston and just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't always, like not everything. Sometimes you just have to do things because you want to be happy. You know, and you want to make sure that you're personally good. That's so important. Like, you know, call it mental health, call it whatever you want. It's just like, make sure that you're personally good. Not anybody else. Like, make sure that you're personally good. So that's why I was so happy that you guys got this crib. Because I'm like, all right, they're both going to personally be happy.
Yes.
And now you can collectively be
It's the ultimate compromise.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, man. I think, like, we've said this before, but, like, you really find out whether or not you're supposed to be with this person when... for the better part of a year, it's not a lot of cute conversations about this. It's really, it's stone cold, hard facts, money, reliability, planning. Like, you find out whether or not you're really compatible with someone if you can get through all of that. And come out on the other side still, like, happy.
Both of y'all got good jobs, though. That's the main thing. Both of y'all have really, really, really good jobs. So it's like, there is a certain level of responsibility that can be heaped on the both of you that you can share and not really have to trip over it. Sometimes you're with somebody and you might make significantly more than them, so you're automatically putting out more. So it's like sometimes those conversations are even harder because it's like, all right, like I know that in terms of money, so and so, like I may be here, so what are you bringing to the table? A lot of times those are like conversations that break up relationships. Or
like that's the conversation that you just have to have with each other and know like, hey, it's nothing personal, right? It's just like, hey, look, it is what it is. And you know what, some of the most successful people in my life from like a business perspective have told me that. They're like, eventually when you have your family, it's going to come down to whose job is prioritized, right? Like you're going to eventually have to make that step because it's impossible for you to both be at 1,000 unless you're both making $5 million a year and you have someone to take care of it. Is that's your situation? Fantastic. If not, then you got to have those conversations early to say like, where are we going back and forth with this? So anyway, yes, we got the house. We're very excited. We got a couple months and then we will see some things change and
it's gonna be cool.
And it'll be all from there. But yeah, thanks for we're excited.
Hell yeah.
And I guess I'm an adult now.
New homeowner, man.
New homeowner.
Like it. And you're right around the way now, bro.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Don't.
Oh yeah. I was about to like
just say my address on here. But yes, we're still in Jersey. We're happy. We're closer to her family. We're closer to my family, and like we'll go from there. But anyway, anything else?
That was episode 22. Shout out to our 103 subscribers.
103, baby.
Oh, we finally hit the mark.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We could do another 100 subscribers special. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everybody for watching, listening, subscribing. Like, once again, we got people just tuning in, man.
Hell yeah,
and it's amazing to watch it grow.
Yes, sir.
So until next time, stop snitching.